The quantum detection array at Luna Base 1 picked up the signal at 3:47 Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her display, checking and double-checking the readings before activating the emergency protocol. Within minutes, the observation deck of humanity's most advanced space station was filled with military and scientific personnel, all eyes fixed on the approaching vessels. 3 ships, each larger than anything humanity had ever constructed, emerged from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. Their hulls gleamed with an otherworldly iridescence, seeming to shift and flow like liquid metal. Admiral James Rodriguez, commander of Earth's Combined Space Defense Force, watched in silence as the vessels took up position just beyond Mars' orbit. Their technology is beyond anything we've theorized possible, Dr. Chen whispered, her instruments struggling to analyze the alien ship's composition. The energy readings suggest they could have traveled from anywhere in the galaxy. The aliens made first contact exactly 6 hours later. They called themselves the Vanguard, presented as representatives of an advanced galactic civilization. Their spokesperson, an entity that identified itself as Nexus Prime, appeared as a hologram in the United Earth Council's chamber in Geneva. Nexus Prime's form was both beautiful and unsettling, a crystalline being that seemed to be composed of living light, its voice resonating with harmonics that made human listeners feel strangely at ease. "We come in peace," it announced, "to welcome humanity into the greater galactic community." Over the next few weeks, the Vanguard shared glimpses of their advanced technology. They spoke of clean energy, medical breakthroughs, and faster-than-light travel. World leaders were captivated, and the public celebrated what seemed to be humanity's greatest moment. Confirmation that we were not alone, and that our cosmic neighbors were benevolent. But Dr. Emily Santos, a xenolinguistics specialist at the newly established First Contact Center, noticed something odd in the Vanguard's communications. Their language patterns contained subtle contradictions, microsecond delays in responses that shouldn't exist with their level of technology. She brought her concerns to Admiral Rodriguez, who had maintained a quiet skepticism despite the growing global euphoria. "Their words say one thing," Dr. Santos explained, showing the Admiral her analysis, "but their communication structure suggests they're running everything through multiple layers of processing. They're filtering their responses, Admiral. They're hiding something." Rodriguez had served in enough conflicts to trust his instincts, and something about the Vanguard had been setting off alarm bells from the start. He initiated a classified protocol, activating a network of sleeper cells composed of Earth's best scientists, strategists, and military specialists. The breakthrough came 3 months into the Vanguard's cultural exchange program. Dr. Chen, working with a team of quantum physicists, detected unusual energy signatures emanating from the Vanguard ships. The aliens were scanning Earth's military installations, mapping defense systems, and probing for weaknesses, all while maintaining their peaceful facade. More disturbing were the findings from Dr. Santos' continued analysis of Vanguard communications. Hidden within their seemingly benevolent messages were patterns suggesting a hierarchical military structure, one that viewed other species not as equals, but as resources to be managed and exploited. Admiral Rodriguez presented the evidence to a secret session of the Earth Defense Council. "They're not here to welcome us," he concluded grimly. "They're assessing us. This isn't first contact. It's reconnaissance for invasion." The council chamber erupted in worried murmurs, but Rodriguez raised his hand for silence. "But they've made a critical mistake. They think they're dealing with a naive species, one that will either welcome them blindly or panic when their true intentions are revealed. They don't understand human nature. We've spent centuries preparing for this possibility, gaming out scenarios, developing contingencies. More importantly, they don't realize that while they've been studying us, we've been studying them." Dr. Chen stepped forward, displaying a holographic analysis of the Vanguard ships. "Their technology is advanced, but it follows strict patterns. Their thinking is linear, hierarchical. They expect either submission or direct confrontation. They're not prepared for human ingenuity, for our ability to think outside conventional boundaries. Then let's show them something unexpected, Rodriguez said, a determined glint in his eye. While they think they're executing a perfect deception, we'll prepare a surprise of our own. Humanity has faced existential threats before. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own near destruction. We've learned, adapted, and emerged stronger. Now it's time to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate the human spirit. As the meeting concluded, a plan began to take shape. Earth would maintain its appearance of naive enthusiasm, while secretly preparing for the inevitable conflict. But this wouldn't be a conventional war. It would be fought with human creativity, adaptability, and our unique ability to turn apparent weakness into strength. The vanguard thought they were the hunters, studying their prey. They didn't realize they were about to become a cautionary tale for any alien civilization that might think of Earth as an easy target. Humanity was about to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility whose existence was known to fewer than 100 people worldwide, Admiral Rodriguez stood before a wall of holographic displays. Each screen showed different aspects of Earth's secret preparations, a symphony of human ingenuity operating in the shadows of the Vanguard's watchful eyes. Project Prometheus is ready for testing, Dr. Chen announced, pulling up schematics of what appeared to be a conventional communications satellite. But conventional it was not. Hidden within its mundane exterior lay humanity's answer to the Vanguard's superior technology, a quantum interference system designed to disrupt their seemingly perfect formations. The Vanguard's ships moved with unnatural precision, their fleet operations displaying a level of coordination that suggested a hive-mind approach. But Dr. Chen's team had discovered something crucial. Their neural network had microsecond vulnerabilities, tiny gaps in their perfect synchronization that could be exploited. They think in straight lines, Dr. Santos added, studying behavioral patterns collected over months of observation. Their entire civilization is built on predictability and order. They can't comprehend why humans sometimes make illogical choices, why we'd sacrifice efficiency for creativity. That's their weakness. Around the world, humanity's preparation took many forms. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous guides led teams of engineers to hidden locations where experimental electromagnetic pulse generators were being disguised as ancient ruins. The Vanguard scans had shown particular interest in Earth's historical sites, but their rigid thinking prevented them from imagining that these could be anything other than what they appeared to be. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, a network of quantum-linked submarines practiced new tactics. Instead of traditional military formations, they moved in patterns inspired by marine life, pods of whales, schools of fish, the seemingly chaotic but perfectly coordinated movements of nature that the Vanguard's tactical computers couldn't predict. In orbit, civilian space stations continued their normal operations, but hidden within their routine maintenance schedules were deployments of microscopic machines. Developed in secret by a coalition of Earth's top roboticists, these devices were based on human blood cells, designed to work together in ways that mimicked human immune responses. The Vanguard, for all their advanced technology, had never encountered a species that could turn their own biology into a weapon. Their overconfidence is our advantage, Rodriguez explained to a select group of military leaders gathered in the mountain facility. They think they understand us because they've studied our transmissions, our military doctrines, our official responses to their presence. But they've missed the most important aspect of human nature, our ability to adapt, to see patterns, and then deliberately break them. In laboratories across the globe, scientists worked on projects that seemed to defy conventional military logic. In India, a team developed quantum-entangled dance choreography, movements that could transmit messages undetectable by Vanguard surveillance. Japanese engineers created artwork that contained coded military coordinates, hidden in plain sight using principles of human perception that the aliens couldn't process. But perhaps the most ambitious project was taking place in Antarctica. Dr. Emily Santos led a team developing what they called the Chaos Protocol, a combat doctrine that deliberately incorporated random elements, human intuition, and intentional inefficiencies. It was everything the Vanguard would consider illogical, everything their perfect minds would reject as inferior thinking. The key, Dr. Santos explained, demonstrating the protocol to a group of military strategists, is that we're not trying to match their technology. We're going to fight them with complexity they can't compute, with decisions that don't follow any pattern they can predict. As weeks turned into months, the Vanguard continued their subtle scans and study of Earth, unaware that their every move was being analyzed, their every pattern documented. They didn't realize the humans had centuries of experience in asymmetric warfare, in finding ways to defeat supposedly superior forces. In the Mountain Facility's central chamber, Admiral Rodriguez reviewed the latest simulation results. The Vanguard's attack, when it came, would be devastating. But now humanity had a fighting chance, not because we could match their firepower, but because we could think in ways they couldn't imagine. They expect us to either submit or fight conventionally, Rodriguez told his staff. They've never encountered a species that could turn their greatest strengths into weaknesses. They don't understand that humans have spent our entire history learning from adversity, adapting to overcome seemingly impossible odds. Dr. Chen's quantum detectors had picked up signs that the Vanguard was accelerating their timeline. More ships were arriving daily, taking positions in what they thought were cleverly disguised formations around Earth. But thanks to humanity's preparations, each new alien vessel simply added another piece to our understanding of their patterns, their limitations. When they strike, Rodriguez said, studying the tactical displays, they'll think they're executing a perfect plan against a primitive species. Instead, they're going to learn why Earth has a reputation for being humanity's cradle, because we've spent millennia learning how to rock it. The waiting game continued, but now it was humanity holding the hidden advantages. In labs, bunkers, and secret facilities around the world, people of all nations worked together, preparing to show the galaxy why Earth would never be an easy target. The Vanguard thought they were studying the simple, predictable species. They were about to discover just how wrong they were. The attack began at dawn. Nexus Prime's hologram appeared simultaneously in every major government chamber worldwide, its crystalline form now pulsing with aggressive red energy. The pretense of benevolence had vanished, replaced by cold, calculated superiority. Humanity has been evaluated and found wanting, the entity announced. Your species' tendency toward chaos and inefficiency makes you unsuitable for autonomous existence within the galactic community. The Vanguard will now assume direct control of Earth and its resources. Resistance will result in immediate pacification. In orbit, thousands of Vanguard ships decloaked, their massive forms blotting out the stars. They expected panic, confusion, and desperate, uncoordinated resistance. Instead, they encountered Operation Labyrinth. Admiral Rodriguez, watching from the Mountain Command Center, allowed himself a grim smile. "Initiate Protocol Prometheus," he ordered. Across the globe, seemingly ordinary communications satellites activated their quantum interference fields. The Vanguard's perfect formation suddenly experienced microscopic disruptions in their neural network. The alien ship's movements, previously synchronized with machine-like precision, began to show tiny discrepancies. To most observers, the changes would have been imperceptible, but the Vanguard's entire combat doctrine relied on absolute coordination. Even millisecond delays created cascading errors in their battle algorithms. Their hierarchical command structure is fragmenting, Dr. Chen reported, monitoring the quantum fluctuations. They can't maintain their standard attack patterns. The Vanguard launched their first strike against major military installations, but found only convincing holographic projections. The real facilities had been relocated months ago, hidden using technology that mimicked natural geological formations. When the aliens adjusted their scans, they encountered another surprise: the electromagnetic pulses from the disguised generators in the Amazon, disrupting their targeting systems. Nexus Prime's voice boomed across global communications channels again, but now there was an edge of confusion in its harmonics. Your primitive defenses cannot hope to. The transmission cut off as Dr. Santos' team activated the Chaos Protocol's first phase. Instead of trying to block the Vanguard's communications, Earth's systems began broadcasting on all frequencies. But instead of military commands or desperate pleas, they transmitted everything from classical music to cooking shows, from children's laughter to the sound of rainforests. The cacophony of human experience, deliberately unstructured and emotionally charged, created what Dr. Santos had termed cultural static. They can't filter it, she explained, watching the aliens' communication patterns deteriorate. Their minds seek patterns, order. This level of simultaneous, unrelated input overloads their processing. The Vanguard's response was to launch a massive ground invasion. Dropships descended through Earth's atmosphere in perfect geometric formations, directly into the trap of Operation Hydra. The submarines hidden in Earth's oceans launched their biological countermeasures. Swarms of microscopic machines, modeled on human immune responses, attacked the alien ships' hulls. Like white blood cells identifying pathogens, the machines recognized the unique molecular structure of Vanguard technology and began systematically disrupting it. They're adapting, Dr. Chen warned, noting changes in the alien ship's energy signatures, but not fast enough. Their adaptations follow predictable patterns. They can't comprehend our seemingly random changes in tactics. The ground battle revealed another aspect of humanity that the Vanguard hadn't anticipated. Earth's defenders didn't meet them with traditional military formations. Instead, they encountered resistance that seemed to make no tactical sense until it did. Civilian dance troops transmitted battlefield intelligence through movements that appeared celebratory. Street artists created murals that guided precision strikes through principles of human aesthetic perception that the alien sensors couldn't decode. In orbit, the quantum-entangled network of human ships executed maneuvers based on natural phenomena. The murmuration of starlings, the fluid dynamics of ocean currents, the chaotic yet perfectly balanced patterns of weather systems. The Vanguard's combat computers, trying to predict human tactics based on military logic, failed repeatedly to anticipate these organic, evolving strategies. They're pulling back to regroup, Rodriguez announced, watching the tactical displays. Their entire military doctrine is based on perfect coordination and predictable responses. We're giving them neither. But victory was far from assured. The Vanguard's technology was still vastly superior, and their ships still numbered in the thousands. As they withdrew to higher orbit, their massive fleet began to reconfigure into new attack formations. They're learning, Dr. Santos observed, but they're learning in the way they know, systematically, predictably. They still can't grasp that human unpredictability isn't a weakness. It's our greatest strength. In the Mountain Facilities Command Center, humanity's defenders prepared for the next phase of battle. The Vanguard had revealed their true nature, but they had also revealed their limitations. Now the real test would begin, whether human ingenuity, creativity, and our capacity for controlled chaos could overcome the most powerful military force the galaxy had ever known. Send word to all commands, Rodriguez ordered. Initiate Phase 2 of the Chaos Protocol. Let's show them why you should never corner a species that thrives on challenging the impossible. The Vanguard's response to their initial setback was precisely what humanity had predicted: a massive, coordinated assault designed to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer force. Their ships descended in waves, each formation more intricate than the last, their energy weapons painting the sky with deadly light. But Earth was ready. As the alien armada approached, Dr. Chen activated the Quantum Resonance Network, a web of interconnected devices that had been hidden in orbit disguised as space debris. These devices didn't attack the Vanguard ships directly. Instead, they began replicating and amplifying the aliens' own energy signatures back at them. Their shields are calibrated to deflect external attacks, Dr. Chen explained, watching the data streams. But they never considered that their own energy patterns could be used against them. It's like forcing them to look into a million mirrors at once. Their systems can't distinguish between real and reflected signals. The effect was devastating. Vanguard ships, unable to trust their own sensor readings, began colliding with each other's energy fields. Their perfect formations became a liability as the carefully calculated spacing between vessels now worked against them. Meanwhile, humanity's ground forces implemented what they called the guerrilla galaxy strategy. Instead of defending fixed positions, Earth's military units constantly shifted their tactics, combining ancient warfare techniques with cutting-edge technology in ways the Vanguard's tactical computers couldn't predict. In the Amazon, indigenous warriors used centuries-old hunting techniques to guide automated defense drones. In the Sahara, nomadic tribes combined their knowledge of desert navigation with quantum camouflage technology. The alien sensors, programmed to detect either primitive or advanced warfare, were confounded by these hybrid approaches. They're trying to adapt, Dr. Santos reported, monitoring the Vanguard's communications. But their adaptations are still following predictable patterns. They can't break free from their hierarchical thinking. The turning point came when Admiral Rodriguez authorized Operation Pandora. For months, Dr. Chen's team had been studying the quantum signature of the Vanguard's neural network, the system that allowed their ships to coordinate with machine-like precision. They discovered that this network, while incredibly advanced, was based on principles of absolute order and symmetry. Their greatest strength is also their greatest weakness, Rodriguez explained to his command staff. They've built their entire civilization on the idea that perfect order equals perfect power. They've never encountered a species that could weaponize chaos itself. Operation Pandora was chaos weaponized. Earth's quantum satellites began broadcasting signals that mimicked the Vanguard's neural network, but with subtle, unpredictable variations. It was like introducing a virus into their collective consciousness, but this virus operated on human principles of creativity and improvisation. The effect rippled through the alien fleet. Ships began receiving conflicting commands. Battle formations dissolved into confusion. The Vanguard's hierarchical command structure, faced with data it couldn't categorize or control, began to fragment. Nexus Prime appeared again in Earth's communications, but now its crystalline form flickered with unstable energy. "This is impossible," it declared, its harmonic voice distorted. "Your species is primitive. Your tactics defy all logical analysis." "That's humanity's secret," Dr. Santos transmitted back. "We've never limited ourselves to what seems logical. We dream, we imagine, we create, and we turn those dreams into reality." The Vanguard's mighty fleet, which had conquered countless civilizations through superior technology and perfect coordination, found itself being defeated by a species that refused to fight according to any predictable rules. Human ships danced through space in patterns based on jazz improvisations. Ground forces used strategies inspired by sports plays and social media trends. "They're retreating from the inner solar system," Rodriguez announced, watching thousands of alien ships break orbit in disarray. "But we can't let them regroup. They'll analyze their failures and return with new strategies." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes bright with inspiration. "Then let's give them something they can never analyze, something that goes against everything they believe about warfare, about civilization itself." She pulled up a new set of schematics, Operation Phoenix, humanity's most audacious plan yet. It was a strategy that would either secure Earth's victory or fail spectacularly. But as Rodriguez studied the details, he began to smile. It was exactly the kind of impossible, irrational, brilliantly human plan that the Vanguard would never see coming. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Prepare for Operation Phoenix. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity doesn't just think outside the box. We redefine what the box is entirely." As Earth's forces prepared for their most daring gambit yet, the Vanguard's retreating ships witnessed something unprecedented. A planet united not by perfect order or rigid hierarchy, but by the chaotic, creative, unconquerable spirit of human innovation. The final battle was about to begin, and it would change the galaxy's understanding of warfare forever. Operation Phoenix began not with a bang, but with silence. Complete, absolute silence. Every human transmission ceased. Every quantum defense system powered down. Every military installation went dark. Earth, which had been a chaos of activity and resistance, suddenly became quiet as a tomb. In the mountain facility, Admiral Rodriguez watched the Vanguard's reaction. The alien fleet, which had withdrawn to the outer solar system to regroup, now faced something their tactical computers couldn't process: the complete absence of patterns to analyze. "They're scanning for traps," Dr. Chen reported, monitoring the quantum fluctuations. "But they can't find any because we're not trying to hide anything." Sometimes the best deception is the truth. Operation Phoenix was humanity's ultimate gambit, a strategy that seemed, on its surface, to be complete surrender. But it was surrender on humanity's terms, and those terms were about to reshape the galaxy's understanding of warfare. As the Vanguard fleet cautiously approached Earth again, their sensors detected something extraordinary. The quantum interference network that had disrupted their ships wasn't being dismantled, it was being transformed. Dr. Chen's team had reprogrammed the entire system to synchronize with the Vanguard's neural network, not to attack it, but to enhance it. "They're receiving our signal," Dr. Santos confirmed, watching the alien communications. "Now they have to make a choice: reject it and prove their inflexibility, or accept it and open themselves to change." The signal being transmitted was humanity's most powerful weapon, not destruction, but creation. The quantum network began sharing the full spectrum of human experience: art, music, literature, dreams, innovations, and most importantly, our ability to learn from failure and adapt. Nexus Prime appeared one final time, its crystalline form shifting through colors never before seen in its communications. "What is this?" it demanded, but the harmonics in its voice had changed. There was something new there: curiosity. "This is humanity," Rodriguez replied. "Not just our military strength or our technology, but our very nature. We're offering you something your perfect order has never encountered: the power of controlled chaos, of evolution through imperfection." Through the quantum network, Earth shared its history, not just of wars and conquests, but of countless civilizations learning to coexist, of cultures blending and evolving, of strength found in diversity rather than uniformity. The Vanguard's neural network, designed to process tactical data, was exposed to something far more complex: the human capacity for growth through change. The effect rippled through the alien fleet like a shockwave. Ships began moving in new patterns, no longer bound by rigid formations. The Vanguard's perfect hierarchy started to transform, incorporating elements of human adaptability into their own structure. "Their neural network is evolving," Dr. Chen announced, her voice filled with wonder. "They're not just processing our data. They're learning from it. They're experiencing something their civilization has never known: the power of creative adaptation." The transformation wasn't instantaneous, but it was profound. The Vanguard, which had conquered countless worlds through force and perfect order, encountered a species that offered them something more valuable than victory: the ability to grow beyond their limitations. In the end, it wasn't humanity's weapons that won the war, but our most fundamental characteristic: the ability to turn adversity into opportunity, to find strength in what others saw as weakness, to evolve not despite our imperfections, but because of them. Nexus Prime's final transmission was different from any before. Its crystalline form had evolved, incorporating swirling patterns that seemed almost organic. "We came to conquer," it acknowledged, "but instead, we have been transformed. The galaxy knows of many advanced civilizations, but humanity has shown us that true advancement lies not in perfection, but in the endless capacity for growth and change." The Vanguard fleet departed Earth's solar system not as conquerors, but as students. They left behind not a conquered world, but a testament to humanity's unique place in the cosmos, a species that had turned the very chaos of its nature into its greatest strength. In the mountain facility, Admiral Rodriguez looked at the faces of his team, scientists, soldiers, dreamers, and innovators who had helped humanity face its greatest challenge. "We didn't just defend Earth," he said quietly. "We showed the galaxy a new way forward." Sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in defeating your enemy, but in transforming them into something better. As the last alien ships disappeared into the depths of space, humanity began to rebuild and prepare. The galaxy now knew of Earth not as an easy target, but as a crucible of innovation and adaptation. The message was clear. Earth was not to be trifled with, not because of our weapons or technology, but because of something far more powerful, our unending ability to evolve, adapt, and transform any challenge into an opportunity for growth. The stars beckoned, and humanity was ready to take its place among them, not as conquerors or subjects, but as teachers of a truth we had learned through countless generations of struggle and triumph. That true strength lies not in perfect order, but in the beautiful chaos of endless possibility.